Hello and welcome to QE Foodstores. Today I'm joined by amazing founder Erin, and she has created this amazing range of products for babies where she believes in giving young minds a fresh start. So please welcome Erin to our program. Hello.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good, excited to be here.
I'm so excited to actually have a conversation with you because I'm extremely inspired by what you have been able to achieve. So tell us about the origin, what made you start with this beautiful range of baby foods?
So I've always had a passion for nutrition. I had a medical sales career and I remember selling a lot of different products, and it was always paired with good nutrition, taking care of your health through exercise and eating a proper whole foods based diet. And then fast forward, I moved to Australia with my baby girl who was 8 weeks old, and I was getting ready to transition back to work around 6 months, and that's when a lot of babies are starting solids. And my mother-in-law started to help me because my daughter wasn't sleeping very well, and she would make these beautiful handmade purees, freeze them in little cubes that had delicious flavor and everything I wanted to give my daughter, and it was very convenient. And I thought to myself, wow, this has been a game changer for me and my parenting journey, and it just gives me that assurance that I have fresh whole foods in the freezer ready to go at any moment. So that was the inspiration.
Wow. So what you just basically just said, that something we have been doing for years and years, no one have actually saw the opportunity to commercialize it.
Yes.
You saw your mother-in-law making this beautiful puree, fresh, and then freeze them, and then you fed your baby, and the baby really enjoyed it, and you felt like this should be available to everybody.
100%. I think, parents had the luxury a very long time ago to home cook food, so it really wasn't a challenge. But now I think with the modern day family, a lot of times both parents are working, they're very time poor, and unfortunately when I was doing a lot of research on the industry and giving shelf-stable baby food ongoing just really sets your child up for eating overly processed food, which we know can lead to lifelong health concerns. So I thought, well, wouldn't the best way to be to have whole foods, exactly what nature intended from the beginning, and that will set your child and your family up for a lifetime of healthy eating. So that was the deeper mission behind it.
And there's a lot of evidence behind that in terms of the preservatives and additives and colouring. So the fresh food is the best thing for the babies. And there's a research in the countries like a developing world that they have less allergies and less eyesight problems and so forth because they don't have that much preservatives and additives and so forth compared to the Western countries or developed countries, I would say.
Yes, there's a ton of evidence coming out about eating overly processed food. And I've learned a lot myself as a parent and starting to manufacture food. I started the business in my kitchen, freezing it in little ice cube trays like most Australian parents I saw were doing. But I think it was hard to find a way to commercialize it because frozen food is expensive, it's hard to sit on a shelf, and a lot of retailers are looking for shelf life. They're not looking for the best quality. Shelf life and safety, but that often compromises nutrition and how it's processed to keep it on the shelf.
A lot of retailers accept QE.
Well, exactly. You guys are one of the trailblazers who have allowed us the opportunity to really change an industry.
So was it difficult to like homemade recipe, grandma's recipe, or into like to commercialize, into packaging? Can you take us through some of the challenges you went through? I mean, did you have a background in business, marketing, sales?
So I think I have had a background in sales, so I understand the value proposition of a product and what we're actually trying to serve. There's a lot of different things we speak about when talking about starting solids, because at surface level it's just starting your baby on food, but for most parents it's a very stressful time. Their baby's about 6 months old, like I said. They're probably up a few times in the middle of the night. They're either breastfeeding or formula feeding. It's another thing to add in, and there's a lot of apprehension. Can my baby eat this? Is it the right texture? Is it the right type of food? Do I introduce allergens? And to be honest, the evidence continues to change, and what was okay a year ago is actually not the same as today. As we know, the prevalence of allergens has skyrocketed. So there's a big learning curve that you really can't understand unless you have the platform like social media to really share to parents. This is the best way to start. This is how we create our meals. So from what you said in commercializing it, I think very simply, I said, okay, parents now are giving babies fresh whole foods when they have time in a cube tray. How can I replicate a cube tray, have a balanced meal, which I've reached out to dietitians and pediatricians to help me create. As you can see, all of our ingredients are listed on the front. I found that transparency is key for parents. If you go down any baby food aisle, every parent is looking at the back of the packaging for, is this right preservatives? How do I serve this? And I said, you know, I just want parents to look at the front and say, these are the 5 ingredients, that's all that's in there, and it's snap frozen in cute little cubes that are easy to serve.
So they're the only ingredients, there are no...
That is it.
There's nothing else added?
Nothing else. Just the whole foods.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And we balance all of our meals because babies need a lot of iron. So we make sure to include a lot of different types of meat, and we have different things than you would like chicken liver. We're coming out with a bone marrow puree because we know that really, really helps with baby's development. And then we also include spices and flavors like tahini and olive oil, good fats to really get that baby to have as many flavors as possible, because the research shows if they have these flavors within the first 1,000 days of life, they have a very high trajectory of having a healthy future, which is pretty profound.
So you've done a lot of research, studying before putting together these recipes.
Yes.
And what about salt? Like, is there any salt?
So, I'm not a dietitian, and salt can be a very big misconception. For our puree range, there are meals that have natural sodium. We don't add any salt. But I think a lot of parents ask for home cooking purposes, can I add salt? Can my baby have a little piece of my chicken? So we say, be mindful. If you can prepare it and sprinkle a little bit on for yourself, that's great. But modifying it is key. But having more variety and whole foods is what you're looking to achieve, not just, you know, thinking about salt or, you know, things like that.
Can you talk about your purpose, mission? What drives you to wake up in the morning and
do this business? Well, I'll be honest with you, it's been a wild ride. I've learned so much from this business, but I think ultimately it's the parents. I always say the number one comment we get is, you've saved me. And that's pretty impactful because I have 3 kids myself. I know how it is to be a busy mom and getting meals prepared constantly. You don't realize that you've taken on a chef role in your family. And some parents don't like to cook, and some parents work really long hours, or they're having someone else care for their kids, and they want to have that impact of nutrition. So being able to share that with families and hearing them saying this is a game changer and it saved my life, that's the best thing that.
So when you get online comments or emails coming through, you read them?
We read our reviews every single Monday as a team. To not only improve on things, but really so we can share with the broader team what the impact of the work we do does.
Isn't it amazing? Nothing to do with sales or profits or anything. It's purely the human element.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like putting smiles on people's faces because you're solving a problem out there that exists.
That's exactly it.
And so parents are happy because they can just pick up a fresh meal and just serve, and it's balanced.
Exactly.
And you've done all the research for them.
Exactly.
That is amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah. What else can you tell us? What's your vision for this brand? How far do you want to expand your mission?
So I think our main mission is we like to focus on the first 1,000 days of life, which is a very complex, and there's a lot of things that go into the first 1,000 days and what's important, but nutrition is kind of the piece of the pie that we want to focus on. So we just want to be able to deliver parents and children the best start to life. And that's by being exposed to different food, a lot of different food from different cultures, because food is not just about nutrition, it's about connection, it's about family, it's about culture.
Yep.
And through our range and through all of our collaborations, that's how we work. We think about the Mediterranean diet, for example, and how can we bring those beautiful flavors to babies across Australia and maybe the world one day. But I think the philosophy is, and what we never compromise on, is always sourcing the highest quality ingredients for children, taking inspiration from parents all over the world, not just the westernized Australian parent. And just always staying true to quality and safety.
How do you go about sourcing your ingredients? How do you make sure they are from ethical sources?
So we have a pretty strict process. So we use we always focus on Australian-owned businesses and small businesses. We get all of our produce from local farms. All of our meat is Australian and 100% organic. So we make sure that all of our providers have those certifications and just that due diligence. And most of our partners are long-term. I would say that the people that I started with 4 years ago are still our suppliers today. And I think having that loyal relationship and learning about their processes as well as them learning about ours is what makes a great working relationship.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful, actually. And what's my next question?
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. Paper doesn't work, Toke. It's okay. So how do you find work-life balance? You said you got 3 kids yourself and a family, and then you're running this business. So can you take us through people who are wanting to start maybe their business and listening to you, what you do to actually get this food out on the dinner table?
Yes. So Le Puree is a part of our family. It's a part of our business. We have a lot of family members that work in the business as well, which happens sometimes with small business. My mother-in-law was my first employee and is still with us today, making sure the quality is great. I think that can be good and bad, but for us and work-life balance, I don't think there is such thing.
Welcome to my world.
Exactly. I think, I wake up and do the job that I want to do every day. I love focusing on what I like to do, not what I'm not good at or what I have to do anymore, because I've worn those hats before. And I think just having that balance of priorities of what makes you happy and what makes you happy in your work and your family. And bringing your family along the ride. There's many days that my kids are in the kitchen with me, or they're at the office, or they're running to do a delivery because a customer didn't get it from our courier. And they love it. And it's not work. It's Le Puree is a part of our family, and this is what provides us this life. So
I love that story. I really do, because I think there's only one life, right? There's no professional life, there's no business life, there's no personal. It's just one life. How do you live it? It's just you have integrated your business into your life, into your family life. So everybody doing and enjoying Le Puree being part of the family, the way the family's functioning.
That's exactly it. And I think it teaches a lot to your family and your kids. And when you bring people on the journey, they understand you and what you have to do every day. So,
what other common challenges did you face from your start of your journey in terms of packaging or logistics, or can you share any of the challenges that you faced?
Yes, I've had so many challenges. I don't know anything about food. I don't know anything about food production. I've worked in restaurants before, so I had a little bit of background, but we say at Le Puree that every day is a school day. We're learning something new because at every stage of our business, there's a challenge that we need to overcome some way, somehow. So in terms of packaging and branding, something I learned in my past life working in retail is that something I was never going to sacrifice. So when I came out with an initial brand that I wasn't 100% happy with, and then I was quoted, I said, I want to change this, and quoted again beyond what I could afford, but I said, I know this is the right move because this is who we are in the world. So that was the biggest investment and risk, but it was the best decision I ever made. So I think understanding where you want to spend your money in terms of packaging and sourcing and not taking no for an answer. If you can find it done somewhere else, that means you can do it as well.
Yep.
And just giving your staff the same mentality so you can achieve your goals.
Yep.
But still, even today, scaling food production is very difficult, and finding the right partners that are integral to your business are challenging as well.
Yep.
But I think there's always that one person who will give you a shot.
Absolutely. Persistence.
Yeah.
Yep. You got to be persistent.
Yeah.
And then I always believe if you keep knocking on the door will open eventually.
Exactly.
So how big is Le Puree now?
So what started off as just a small business in Roselle, where I started, we now service across all of Australia. We have about 50,000 parents that have bought from us, and we continue to grow year over year. We have a small market in America, which we are looking to pursue more, but it's still small compared to some businesses, but then sometimes feels really big from where I started. So
well, that is you have given or giving 50 families a fresh start.
Yeah, exactly.
To life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and growing.
And growing.
Yeah, that's good. How many staff do you have at the moment?
So I have a team that works, I guess, on the front marketing, sales, about 5 people, and then our production team is about 25.
Okay, 25 production team.
So we have a manufacturing facility. We just moved into our own this year.
Yep.
So I have to wear 2 hats. Food manufacturing hat, and then my marketing business development hat. 2 very different cultures, which I'm learning about every single day, as I'm sure you're familiar with as well. But
I'm sure you wear more hats, but those are the 2
those are the 2 main hats.
2 main hats that you wear. And I think they're the challenge of small business, and I'm sure your staff also wear more hats than just a single hat. Yeah.
I've always found having a smaller, loyal, amazing staff immersed in the brand, when they get to wear more hats, they just learn the business better, and we all become more well-rounded.
Definitely. I'm a big believer in that. So Le Puree, you have an online website that the customers can order, and that's how you supply Le Puree or deliver it to rest of Australia.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you have customers basically all over Australia at the moment?
All over Australia.
Unbelievable.
Except for the Northern Territory. We're not there yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah. Very soon.
Yeah.
That's good.
So we service everywhere.
And now we obviously, QE is your first retailer.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into brick and mortar stores?
So that opportunity came from a lot of our customers.
Yep.
We knew that the QE stores were in great demographics that we were currently serving.
Yep.
And we've had multiple people ask to stock in your stores. So we felt that we have the same values as well. Not every retailer fits what we're looking for as a mission and has other brands that we say we're friends with in the store.
Yeah.
So we found that was the perfect fit. The only question was, okay, we have a frozen product. Are parents going to go to the freezer section? It's just not something that they're used to doing. And working with your beautiful buyer Morale has, she presented us with the opportunity to put a freezer in the baby food shelf.
Yep.
And I think we could both agree that it's been amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a huge success, hasn't it?
Huge success for us.
Yeah, and I think I was surprised when I went to do a store visit, and managers were telling me that they had prams basically queued up in the aisle all the way up to the registers. So you also are very good at marketing, I suppose, because I thought, how did that happen? And it's like, oh no, they read a post on Instagram, and then everyone just stormed into our stores to buy Le Puree. And I remember at Crow's Nest, a manager was telling me he's placed 3 orders within 10 days. How did you manage to deliver, like getting an order and then getting it out there?
Well, another challenge, another learning curve, another par level we weren't ready for, but luckily our team is very nimble. I think we're always prepared beyond what we can service at that moment.
Yeah.
So we were prepared. We knew that this could really elevate our business, and we had a lot of social media people asking us commenting, can I go? When is it going to be restocked? So we stay very close to our audience, and when they let us know, we go.
I remember at Randwick, he said to me, and he said, oh, they're very fast at delivering. And he said, I just placed an order in the morning, and 2 hours later, they're here with the stock.
Well, that's Olivia, our sales rep. She's very eager.
Yeah.
And I think we all know as a customer, as a retailer, especially that you guys are local to us, it's, you know, we want to make sure that you're getting it on time so we can service our customer coming through the door.
Yeah. Now, look, we like I said, I'm personally inspired by what you have been able to achieve and a wonderful product, and we're very grateful to actually be able to serve our customers with the fresh products, because, like you said, it fits perfectly with our mission of quality food shopping made easy.
Yes.
And the reason we do that to improve people's health. So I think you're giving young minds a fresh start.
Yes.
And that's, you know, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing your wonderful story. And I think it's been very inspiring, and I think to hear the heart behind the brand is always amazing. And I think a lot of our listeners would love to hear the voice behind the brand, the heart behind the brand. So thank you very much. At QE Foodstore, we love supporting brands like yours because it fits perfectly with our mission of quality food shopping made easy.
No, thank you, and I really
very
appreciate
much,
you
Erin,
having me
and
here.
I wish you all the success with your fresh start to life.
Thank you.
Thank you.